Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a great day so far and welcome to today's video, which is going to be my top 5 foundations. It's been too long since I updated you on my favorite foundations, what they are and why, what we've lost, what's dropped out, what's fallen by the wayside and what it has been replaced with. So without further ado, let's get started. So first up, let's talk about the OG. Let's talk about the one that I can't see being replaced, or that I certainly can't see dropping out of the top 5. I feel like this one is going to be in my top 5. It's been in my top 5 for years. It's been my holy grail for years. It's the Tom Ford Shade and Illuminate. It's very obvious this was going to be in here, so I can only apologize for my predictability. But it's a staple, just so reliable. Like if I'm not really sure what foundation to wear, I just want to look my best, feel like me, feel beautiful. This is like it. This, like, no foundation makes me feel beautiful like this. The special bit about this foundation, why it's been in my favorites for so long, while so many others have kind of come and gone, is the finish. It's just the perfect sweet spot of what I look for in a foundation. It's that healthy, glowy luminosity without ever becoming shiny or looking too shiny or too greasy or oily, or being too flat or losing its luminosity and glow or taking too long to get it. The moment I put this on my face, it's perfect and it stays in that perfect sweet spot that I love. The whole day. It wears beautifully. I don't need to set it. It gives me a medium. There's nothing like full coverage about this. It's not like a medium to full buildable or anything like that. This is a medium. My skin is still going to show through. It's going to stay very natural and skin-like and pretty. It does have SPF 50 in it, which annoys me very muchly, and I'm sure many of you, because it will probably mean that you can't use this. I know lots of people are sensitive to SPFs. It also means that I can't use this when, you know, in the evenings, if I'm going to an event, if I'm going to a party, a wedding, something like that, because I daren't, because it's bound to give me a white cast, a bounce back. But everything else about it is perfection. I love how thin and liquidy the consistency is. The bottle is like the best of the best, bar none. I've loved her since the day we met. I love her still. There will always be a place for her in my heart, I feel. Do you know, it wasn't until this very moment that I realized how much of this foundation I've used, because it's been like sat up, but I pulled them out my drawer. You can kind of see where they settled to, where you've used them, which is really interesting. Next up, it's the #1 from Chanel. And it is we're almost halfway through this bottle, okay? I feel so proud of myself. This one for me is like a perfect everyday foundation because it just does what I want it to do, but it doesn't wear incredibly well. So this is a bit less glowy than the Tom Ford, but it's still a beautiful natural luminosity, maybe a hair more coverage than the Tom Ford, certainly a thicker consistency. I feel like I need to use quite a lot, hence the reason I'm like halfway through, despite how many foundations I have that I love. The special thing about this one for me is how smooth and perfecting it is texture wise. This has like the smoothest, most flawless finish. It goes over wrinkles, lines, texture, anything, and just smooths everything out, and it's really, really flattering. I think it photographs stunningly and looks glorious on camera. If you want this to like wear 8 hours or even more, you're going to need like setting powder and setting spray, because to me, on my skin at least, it's not a long wearing one. So it is one that I love to wear on camera. I love to wear day to day when it's not going to be a long day that I need to look flawless for. It's very beautiful and just very, very flattering as well. And like I said, photographs stunningly. If you're going out just for dinner, glorious. Next up, the foundation I'm wearing today, and this is the Nars Light Reflecting foundation. This one is just such a good workhorse foundation. There's no SPF in here. It wears beautifully and it gives such a gorgeous glowing finish to the skin. This is a bit higher coverage, I would say, than both the Tom Ford and the Chanel. So when I'm feeling like I want to be a bit more flawless, I want a more made up, a more put together, a more glam look, then I will reach for this over those other two. It's also a perfect evening event foundation because it photographs beautifully under flash as well as just under regular lighting. So it's ideal for weddings, it's ideal for events, nights out, anytime where you want to take photos and you don't want to have, you know, the ghost face, parties, things like that this time of year. Absolutely gorgeous. You really don't need much. A little goes a very long way. I have great shades from Nars as a brand, so that's always really, really helpful. I just find this covers absolutely everything I need it to. It's not quite as smooth and flawless as the Chanel, but it gives me more coverage and it wears much better. So that's kind of the similarities between the two. I'd say it's quite different to the Tom Ford. This one is definitely glowier and definitely less coverage. So again, depends what you're looking for as to which of these are going to work for you. But this is like the one that I reach for a lot when I want to be full glam, full beat. I want it to wear, but I want some luminosity to my skin still. A really great foundation and a much better price point than a lot of the others that we've spoken about so far. Next, let's talk about the surprise hit of the year for me, and it's the Hourglass Soft Glow Foundation. I absolutely love this foundation. This foundation, I feel like it's a bit of a combination between like the Nars and the Tom Ford. It's like if you mix these two together. It has the luminosity there, but it has coverage. This is described as being like medium buildable on Hourglass's website. For me, this is straight up full coverage and you don't need a lot to get to the full coverage. It's flawless, but with enough luminosity and radiance to like keep me happy. It wouldn't be like my go-to sort of everyday foundation because of that much higher coverage and just not quite as much glow as like the Tom Ford and maybe the Chanel, maybe a slightly less glow than the Nars as well. The thing about it is the luminosity in here is like what I call a dry luminosity. To me, there's like, I think of glow in foundations as being like a wet glow, like a luminosity, really glowy, fresh, dewy looking skin, and a dry glow that kind of looks like that but set with powder. So it's still really luminous, but it's like a set luminosity. That's what the Hourglass gives me. Much, much different of a glow to the others I've spoken about, but the luminosity is still there. Wears very, very well, photographs beautifully, no SPF. This has become my go-to evening, event, party, wedding foundation because it's so reliable. It's not going to like disappear off of your skin. It's luminous but not so luminous that under lights and things you're going to look shiny. It's so beautiful, so flawless. It is like a soft glam all out made up look. So it's not going to look like you're not wearing foundation. It's not going to look like you don't have a full face of makeup on. But, you know, there's a time and a place when I feel like going full glam, full beat. And this is my favourite full glam, full beat foundation for those occasions. The negative about this foundation is exactly what we thought it would be. And it's that I had to buy 3 shades of it to get what I need. So in summer, I use shade 10.5, and this is the perfect shade, perfect summer shade for me. Nice olive undertone, nice natural shade, works perfectly, and I can wear that on its own in summer, and that was fine. When it came to sorting out like my winter shade, I've had issues. I've tried every shade there is from like 5 up to 8.5. So, and like everything in between, okay? 8 gives me like the perfect undertone. Again, it's like that sort of olive, neutral olive undertone, perfect, but just a hair too deep in like starkest winter. There are no other undertones that work for me whatsoever in any other shade anywhere. Okay, I've gone as light as I can, I've gone as deep as I can. No other shades look right on me as far as the undertone. They're either much too yellow, all of the neutrals look pink on me, and all of the warm shades are much too yellow. So 8 and 10.5 are perfect for my undertone. 8 is just the tiniest bit too deep for me now that I've completely lost all my summer colour. So now what I had to do is buy shade 5. This has a good undertone for me, but is much too light. So for winter, my only solution is to mix 8 and 5 together, and that's my perfect winter shade. That is the problem that we knew we would have with Hourglass foundations. They just never quite get their shade range right, undertones, etc. So yeah, that is the drawback. If you can find a shade that works for you, happy days, but a lot of us can't. So yeah, that's frustrating. I don't want to have to mix shades. It's annoying. It's annoying for you guys when you're trying to match to me, but I will do it because I love the foundation so much. It's worth it for me, but whether or not it's worth it for you is probably a different question. And lastly, but by no means leastly, the newest addition to this top 5, my latest foundation purchase, and what a purchase she was. It's the Haus Labs foundation, a new entry in my top 5. I absolutely love this foundation. This, I will say, is the glowiest of all of these foundations, I think. When I am in like full glow, I want to glow for the gods. This is the foundation for me. Yet it wears so nicely. It has such nice coverage. It's so hard to find a foundation as glowy as this that wears really nicely and has really good coverage. This is it. This is, like I said, the glowiest. It's got a good, like solid medium to full level of coverage. It has no SPF, so you don't have to worry about photography, but it is like, if you don't like to glow, if you don't love to glow and have glowy, luscious, fresh, healthy, juicy skin, don't even think about it. I would suggest if you have oily skin, probably don't even think about it. I think it's probably going to be too glowy for you, even when set. For me, this is just healthy, juicy, glowy skin in a bottle when I'm feeling like I want to be the glowiest, especially in winter. You know, when it comes to winter and I don't have to worry about, you know, the weather making me more glowy and more shiny than I started off at the beginning of the day, this is like coming out all the time because I want to look glowy and fresh and healthy year round. But when I don't need to worry about like the sun and the warm temperatures sort of making me even more glowy than I started, this is like a go-to for me because I love to glow, and she is very glowy. Still a very new purchase to me, so I'm still getting to know her. I haven't ranked these foundations today. That's just kind of impossible for me. I still would probably say my Tom Ford is still like my favorite, and then the others kind of all closely follow behind. But this one is the newest, so I'm still getting to know it. Still, you know, haven't worn this in summer yet because I've only just had it for a few weeks, but I love this bottle. I think it's stunning. I haven't had any issues as far as wear or anything like that. It's very flattering on the skin. It's too glowy to look like you're not wearing makeup, I'll say that. So it is a more makeup-y foundation, but wears beautifully. Very, very nice on lines, texture, wrinkles, etc. And just the freshest, juiciest skin around, some would say. I'm one of them. At the moment, you need to order this in the UK from Haus Labs' own website. They do free shipping over a certain amount, but if you just order the foundation, you won't qualify for free shipping. So it's all going to be depending how much you want to spend on a foundation and to get it here. I do suspect Haus Labs will come to Sephora UK at some point. How long that will be, I don't know. You won't pay extra taxes and things. They cover the taxes and all of that in their shipping. And I have ordered from them twice now, and both times it has arrived in a week. So they have great shipping, great customer service, communication and things like that. But yes, it is annoying because you are going to pay like over the odds because we're having to pay for shipping from the US. So I really, really hope it arrives here in the UK soon because it's a beautiful foundation, and I definitely want to try more from the brand and be able to get it more easily and without the high shipping costs, please. Okay, so there you have it. Those are my current top 5 foundations. I will list all of my shades, winter and summer and even in between, in the description box for you. They are pretty much always there, like my top foundations are always listed in the description box. Please let me know what your favorite foundation is currently. If you have a favorite or a couple of favorites, please let us know in the comment section how you get along, what your thoughts are on these foundations. If you have a favorite that is in this video, please let us know in the comment section down below. I hope you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, and I'd love to see you in the next one. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.